It is yet another time for the most informative agribusiness show in Africa, Arable Africa. From In the Farm segment to Market Value, we have all these segments lined up for you. Welcome to the show. My name is Faraji Kevin. First things first, let us have a look at In the Farm segment. In the Farm segment today, we will be focusing on Mitahato Education and Development Fund. We will be speaking to one Mr. Ivy Newman, the Executive Director of the Center. Mr. Ivy Newman will be telling us more about MEDEF's contribution to agriculture.
I came to Kenya in 2012, in the fall of 2012, to do some volunteer work here in the village. And the farming that was being done here was very traditional farming, more of a subsistence farming than it was an agribusiness. And I had been a farmer, when I was younger I was a dairy goat farmer in Canada, and I could see that there were changes that could be implemented here that would have an impact on the village. And so I came back a few months later and leased a piece of land. And I decided that the best thing to do would be to focus on a very small piece of land, because the shambas here were getting smaller and smaller because of division between the families. So we decided on a model quarter-acre farm, which is just 100 by 100. So you're here now inside the greenhouse, which wasn't here in the beginning. So we implemented not very advanced technology, began populating the barns with rabbits and goats and pigs. We did not go with dairy cattle, and that was a decision that was made because in the village the focus on dairy, whether that the cow had the ability or the genetics to be able to produce a lot of milk, the resources for the shamba were just going into a cow. All the napier grass, the grains, the labor, it was just all focused around a cow, and by the end of the day or the end of the month, the payback for that was so little. And so it just kind of created this cycle. I mean, I taught at the school, and the children were being sent home on a daily basis because the parents couldn't afford school fees. So I wanted to be able to change the model of how the land was being used on these very small pieces of land. So that's how it all began. And it evolved, and the farm became a focus not just for this village area, but throughout the county and beyond. And the thought was that it was going to be replicated by the government throughout the country, in all the counties. And that was the intent and what we were working towards, but it just didn't happen. We realized that the reach of the farm was limited. Even though we were having visitors from throughout the county and then even the surrounding counties, we weren't having the impact nationally that we wanted. And so we came up with the concept of FarmLink Kenya, which is an information portal that really is a hub. And we decided that we had so many partners that have wanted to be a part of the teaching farm over the years, and very, very good friends of the farm promoted us, and themselves were doing excellent work. And so we reached out to them and we said, we're creating this information hub, we want you to be part of it. And we want it to be a one-stop shop for farmers. If you have a problem, or you want an answer to that problem, if you want to network with other farmers, then you go to FarmLink and it's going to be there for you. So we created an SMS service, a call center, a social media platform to engage farmers. Now we're over 30,000 farmers on a daily basis that we are discussing farm matters with. Seed companies, agrovets, soil companies, government divisions of the government that are working and promoting agriculture for youth, primarily for youth. And this is all now on one website called FarmLink.
Most farmers have a challenge knowing where to access inputs, how to address different pests and diseases, where to use different technology. So what FarmLink Kenya is doing is bringing this information right to the farmers, and this can be accessible even by use of mobile devices.
We're working with the individual counties the agricultural departments within each county. That's our goal, is for FarmLink to be embedded in each of the county websites for agriculture. And so all of this information that we are collecting will now be available and accessible to farmers by going either into the county website on agriculture or if they're visiting the FarmLink website. So they can access it both ways.
Any farmer needing farm information, they can SMS us, they can use the online web platform, they can call us or even join our forums in social media. So farmers are able to access information as they need it.
Simon, an agribusiness graduate, is lucky to work with Mitahato Education and Development Fund.
I was expecting to join a big company or get a better position, but it was not as expected because initially I joined a high school. I taught like a peer teacher before I got my first job. So if there is a company or those companies, they can partner with the government so that they can be able to provide those internships like 1 year or 6 months so that these graduates can get that hands-on experience so that when they get these opportunities, they can be ready to go out.
There are many challenges that youth in agriculture face, but I will set on 4. One of them that has been recorded is access to farming information, where information is disintegrated that farmers need to make the right farming information. That information is regards to inputs, control of pests and diseases, access to technology. Another challenge youth in agriculture face is lack of access to finance because banks and microfinance still require you to have the traditional collateral such as log and large titles, which to the youth is not accessible. Another challenge that youth face is they're still using traditional technology in farming, that regards to use of water, control of pests and diseases. Those are some of the challenges that youth face. And lastly, another challenge that youth face is lack of skills into marketing their produce. And that's one area we are also advocating and training youths to be able to know the right markets for their produce and also to develop the skills to market their produce.
What an exemplary contribution to agriculture by Mitahato Education and Development Fund, led by Mr. Ivan Newman. Good job, guys. Now moving on to our livestock husbandry, we have one Mrs. Joyce Nyawira Masharia, a livestock specialist, will be taking us through artificial insemination done on pigs. This is so much to learn. In a layman's language, explain to us what AI, artificial insemination, is.
Artificial insemination is the extraction of the semen from a boar which is a male pig, yeah, which is then preserved.
Kindly explain to us how AI is practically done.
One thing, we have to get the semen from farmers trees. They are the only people who are producing the semen, the male semen, the pig semen. So we get from farmers' trees when it is already preserved. Yeah, it usually get for a pig, you only get a dose. Yeah, so it is you have to make another area, and then you go for the specific day, and then when you come here, the pigs have to be on heat. Now the process goes on. One thing, when you have when you are sure the male, the female is on heat, the female is called a sow. You give the semen. One thing, you have to take it to the boar to confirm the heat. One thing, it has to be in standing heat, and then you take it back to the pen. Now you wipe the vulva. Yeah, you wipe the vulva with a disinfectant. Yeah, just any disinfectant. Yeah, you wipe the vulva because of the dirt, because of the urine. Yeah, everything, the dirt. Then you insert a catheter. After you insert a catheter, the cervix will lock. After locking, once you put the catheter out, it cannot come out. So it means it have locked. And then now you can insert the semen.
Is this practice widely known and practiced by Kenyan farmers?
Farmers Choice, they introduced this semen back in 2016, yeah, around 2016. So farmers are just getting to it with the time. One thing, it is only done by big farms, but if you want to do the AI, so long as you have more than 2 sows, you can go for it. One thing, it has so many advantages. One thing, there's no crossbreeding. You know, there is no there's no crossbreeding, there's no transfer of infectious diseases.
Can any farmer perform AI on his animals without the help of a specialist?
No special person is needed. Any farmer can go for the AI. So long as you're in contact with Farmers Choice, those people will come and teach you how to do the AI. From there on, you can carry on yourself.
How can you tell that a sow is on heat and needs insemination?
There are those signs, the normal signs. One, it will mount on each other. The one, it is on heat. The vulva will be reddened and a bit enlarged. The ears will be so alert, very upright. But for confirmation purposes, you have to take it to the boer. Once it stands on the boer, for the boer, then you know it is on standing. At times, you could take it to the boer. It is still not on standing here because it is trying to move around the house. There you can know one thing, it is not yet. It is not on heat, on standing heat, but it is on heat. Maybe it could be starting or it could be ending.
What are the merits for this method?
One, it is something improved. Secondly, and then they grow very fast, by the way, with the babies. Okay, the secondly, there is no transfer of diseases, maybe from a boer to a female, so there's no transfer of diseases. And then again, one thing I also noticed, with the AI, it normally gives you quite a big litter. Those are many babies. So long as you do the right timing. And then the babies are usually very healthy and very big when they are being born. The other one, and there is no chances of crossbreeding.
Your last words or a piece of advice to the farmers seeking to implement artificial insemination?
So if the farmer is willing to go for the AI, they are doing good, very, very good. And then we have something improved, which is taking less months in the farm. And that is what we need, because we are all investors.
We are taking a short break, but Arable Africa will be right back. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Arable Africa. Now I have a question for you. Now, how do you tell when your dog is on heat and needs a bag to breed on her? I know you don't know. You don't know. This is why we have the how-to segment right now.
Let's learn how to tell whether your goat is on heat. If your goat wags her tail, a behavior known as flagging, high chances is that it's on heat. It's really constant when they are in heat. A good heat sign to look out for is extra tail wagging. The vulva may look slightly puffy, red and wet, with white or clear vaginal discharge. You will notice this if the hairs on the sides of the tail are damp or clamped together. When a she-goat is on heat, she will pee in front of the goat. The goat will smell the pee and even drink it. This is a good sign that your goat is on heat. Normally submissive doe may become aggressive towards other goats, while a normally aggressive goat may allow other goats in the herd to boss her around without resisting. A she-goat that is not standing heat moves away from a back that tries to mount her, while a goat on heat remains still while the back mounts her. Most goats don't make much noise, but a she-goat on heat may be vocalized than normal.
To all farmers out there, now you know. Now let us look at how our farm produce are faring on in the market. That has been all about Arable Africa this week. Please talk to us on the email address on your screen and the numbers on your screen. If you're a farmer and you want us to visit your farm, we'll be so glad to focus on you. Please talk to us on our social media handles, that is Arable Africa, on both Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Talk to me, Faraji Kevin, on the social media handles too. Until next week, I have been your host, Faraji Kevin. But before I go, I leave you with so much to learn also on the Agri-Tech segment. See ya.